Good evening. My name is Cecylia Malik. I come from Krakow, city in the south of Poland. Here is river, which is very important, Vistula River, and the tree. And this picture is kind of visit card of me because I was born in Krakow. I have children here. I finished Academy of Fine Arts in Krakow, and probably I will die here. I'm painter, it's my job, but I hardly ever work in studio. I really like work in open air. Here it's my studio in riparian forest, which is close to the Vistula River in my city. But I want to tell you about a very important adventure in my life. In 2009 and 2010, I made a project, very special project. In a whole year, every day, I climb on another tree. In October 2009, I promise all my friends and all my family will be climbing for another tree every day. And as a proof that I promise and I fulfill my word, I put picture with Cecylia on the tree on my Facebook. So through whole year, it was one activity which I did on my Facebook. I put picture with Cecylia every day. I sign what kind of trees it is. I sign also exact place where the tree is situated. And it's everything what I did. In this time, during that project, I completely didn't thought about tree defending. This project was a kind of very personal diary. It was my private story. I start in autumn. I felt by my skin on seasons, the weather, autumn, winter, rainy day, cloud day. It is way how I communicated with my friends, with people. The inspiration for that project, this project called 365 Trees, was my favorite book written by Italian writer Italo Calvino about Cosimo Baron, who promised everybody, all his family, that after he climbed up on the tree, he will never touch the ground. And this book is about his very personal promise and fulfill, and about to be stubborn. But Cosimo, it was a story, but my project was a true. And it is really, really something. I really like that photos, which now, which you see now. And what is important? The project with climbing trees for me was kind of bridge between art and city activist. When I put picture with Cecylia on the tree on social media, a lot of Polish environmentalists started writing to me, and they write, Cecylia, we like your project. Maybe you will be climb on the tree in our park because the trees in our park are in danger. And for me, it was something completely new. When I was close to the beginning, to the end of that project, I had a lot of new friends. feminists like that project because regard is as very feminist. Ecologists like that project because regard it like a very ecological project, and also artists like it. I do nothing to promoting that project except the putting on social media. But when I finish whole year on the tree, I knew most of very involved environmentalists in Poland. I've got new friend from Krakow who was very effective and efficient ecologist in Krakow, and he told me that in Krakow there is a beautiful green area which is in danger because Portuguese developer bought this area and want to build their huge housing state. And then I remember when I thought that because my tree project, I had new friends also in media field. I know a lot of journalists. So I thought maybe I use this possibility to talk about that our green area in our city in Krakow are in danger. And in 2011, I and my sister, we organized first protest in Krakow where we use art as a tool. We convinced Krakowian citizens to wear blue butterfly wings made of cardboard because on this meadow next to the blue lake there was a lot of blue butterfly which is under protection and on European red list of very rare animals. And it was one of the biggest miracles in my life because on this green area in Krakow in 2011, 500 citizens of Krakow wear blue butterfly wings as a protest that we need green areas for citizens, not for the developers. And it was first big protest. And the tree project, which I show you first, was kind of bridge between art, academic fields, and using art as a tool to organizing social action to protect the nature. Our fight for green area next to the lake in Krakow was long. We fighting for this area 8 years, but finally city authority and city president made their park for whole citizens, and this area were bought by city. So it's big experience that art can be very good tool to do something. After that butterfly action, I was involved in many artistic protests and action to protect nature. Most of them was very local, was connected with my city. Here on this picture is action which I made with young people, with students. We organized funeral for trees because in 2014 in Krakow, along huge avenue in Nowa Huta district, they cut it all trees to renovating the street. It's very popular. Now in Poland, when the city authority want to make renovation of pavement or streets, they cutting trees, even the trees are quite old. Yeah, here is this funeral for trees. we can't save the trees because it was too late, but we want to say that something not good happened. And now I show you that after 5 years, I start be involved in more national-wide actions, not only action connected with a local issue with Krakow, because in 2016 something very bad, something very dangerous happened in Poland. Maybe you heard something about Białowieża forest. Maybe the biggest of Polish nature treasure. It's a huge forest close to east Polish border, Primavera Białowieża forest, which is really, really fantastic. There is a lot of really old trees. And our new government, which is ruled by Law and Justice Party, had a new Minister of Environmental. His name was Jan Szyszko, and he made very controversial decision to make huge and very wide logging in this Primavera forest. And a lot of activists, a lot of them connected with Greenpeace organization, started big protests to stop this horrible logging. And in Poland, in many cities, citizens organize to make protests and happenings to support the activists who went and organized protesting camp in Białowieża forest. Also in Krakow, because I know that in Białowieża forest was a lot of good team, a lot of Greenpeace activists, but we want to show our solidarity, and I organized with my friend protest in Krakow, in our city, to support activists from Białowieża forest. And the idea of that protest was that people pretend to be a tree. During 2 weeks, we painting on the huge ring made of cardboard. We made forest mandalas, and in 2 weeks we painting. People are coming and paint mandalas, which dedicated for Białowieża forest, and all of these mandalas look like shells, which we want to use to defend our beautiful forest, our great nature heritage. And I want that people during happening look like a forest. So we met, it was 2016, the beginning of 2016. In Poland was national-wide protest to protect Białowieża forest, and we in Krakow organized a concert for souls and happening for forest mandalas. I called it Oratorium for Souls. So we're looking for and gathering a lot of souls. People play and use these souls as instruments, as a music instruments. And then people heard very loud voice of electric soul. We lying and falling down as a tree. So on whole Krakow Mark Square, activists and normal citizens lying down as a tree in Białowieża forest. What is interesting that we did it 4 or 5 years before Extinction Rebellion action, when this dying in performance are very popular now. And it was quite picturesque because we are looking like a forest. What's happened later? I was involved in many environmental action in Poland. Now I a lot of deal with together with river ecologists. I also organized huge campaign to save natural and wide river in Poland. We protesting against building dams and river regulation, like you see. But something very dangerous for trees happened in Poland. After this huge logging in Białowieża forest, also next year later in 2017, the same environmental minister Jan Szyszko prepare new law, which our government, Law and Justice, signed this new law. They give people the possibility to cut trees on private properties without any fees and any permission. So in Poland, people receive new law that when they've got they own land, garden, and forest, they can cut tree even that the tree are old. So in spring 2017, we heard sound of souls everywhere. It was extremely sad, even for me, because I saw that a lot of trees on which I climbed some years before, now they are stopped exist. Yeah, this picture, these photos are very good pictures and told about Polish situation, because our new government, Law and Justice Party, are very supported by Catholic Church, and they win election because support of Catholic Church in Poland. Also, this Minister of Environmental, he's supported by a big part of Catholic Church, and he very often show himself in TV and newspaper during Mass when he's praying. So especially old people believe him. And our country a little look like on this picture, that we cut tree, but we've got on our lips. Yeah, it's 2017. I'm quite no environmentalist in Poland. A lot of friends from, not only from Krakow, from another cities, from Warsaw, Wrocław, Danzig, waiting that Cecylia helped to organize huge protest in Warsaw against new minister, against logging trees in Poland. But you know, was a mom. I'm born a small baby in 2016. So it was very difficult for me to organize big national-wide protests with 5-month-old boy. I don't know what I have to, what I can to do. I talk with my friends who are artists, and he told me, Cecylia, please stop be a politics, stop make protests, be artist again. Then I thought maybe I go out and I will make my solo performance. And on the beginning of this presentation, I show you my very personal diary, the year which I spent on the tree. It was 2010, and 7 years later, I made a quite similar project. In March 2017, every morning, I go out with my small boy, and I breastfeeding him on very sad landscape on landscape, yes, without trees. It was very easy in Krakow, in my city, to find such place because trees were cut everywhere. And you know, something completely unexpected happened for me because my very good friend Ania Grajewska told me, Cecylia, I want to do it with you. I also want to protest against this horrible cutting tree. I was really happy because I really like Anya, and you know, when you've got team, it make you more courage. And in 3rd of March 2017, we together, I and Anya, we convinced our friends who have small babies to do group performance. Yeah, and we thought that maybe it's only symbolic gesture to gathering together and breastfeeding babies in the sad landscape without trees. We sat on the very fresh tree trunk, very fresh logging place, and we are breastfeeding babies. We felt that it is our national-wide protest. It's not 1,000 people, it's only 12 months. But it was everything what we can do in that moment. We show that when we cut trees, we cut the future of our children. And we put this picture on Facebook. And this picture, it was crazy because when I put it on Facebook, it spread thousand times. All Polish media and ecologists, activists spread these photos. And what happened later? And then we organized fan page, and this performance was the beginning of social movement in Poland. Women, moms, social movement against logging trees. After 3 days, moms in completely different city, in Białystok, it was 600 kilometers from Krakow, gathering together and breastfeeding their babies. After a week, moms in Warsaw organized together and breastfeeding babies on recently logging place in Warsaw. So Polish mothers on tree stumps, because it's name of our movement, Polish mothers on tree stumps, give a simple instruction. Take a baby, ask your friends, meeting together, make performance, and ask local media to make you photos and protest and make a protest in this way. So we've got group and fan page on our Facebook, and we're asking women's moms in whole Poland to send us picture when they breastfeeding babies on a recently logging place. And like you see, it's a British newspaper. The Guardian used this photography as an illustration of Polish massacre of tree. So our small performance in Krakow was illustration of this horrible war for whole Europe. And we start thinking what we can do with this quite a big media success. So we start to use this photo, this image, as a manifesto. We take this picture and give it as a present to Polish president, Andrzej Duda, and also to Polish Prime Minister with letter not from ecological organization, but from simple citizen. And after it, we find a quite funny idea that maybe we will fly to Pope to complain to him that maybe he don't know that Polish cut trees with guts on his lips, and maybe he don't know that Polish church support in this horrible tree massacre. And after we organize crowdfunding campaign, and after 1 month we gathering money for traveling, for trip, for buying ticket, and spend 5 days in Rome for 5 months, because we really want give this picture to the Pope and say about our horrible situation in Poland. Yeah, we take our babies, we take our banners, and also we've got with us artificial tree stumps, because we was like, Polish mother on tree stumps. But we can't organize private audience with Pope. We was able only organize common audience for 1,000 people. Yeah, and it was completely crazy, and it is completely miracle, because we are really lucky that Pope meet us. He meet us because his guards tell him that there is a group of mom with babies, and he won't have a picture, photos, when he blessing the baby. So he come to us to blessing our babies. And in that moment, we give him a report about air, water, trees, Polish nature in danger. We give him a report written by main and the biggest Polish ecological organization, like Greenpeace Poland, and about bad condition of river and this horrible situation for trees. It was, of course, very symbolic situation, but for us it was very important that as we citizen, we show that also normal people should don't give up and don't agree with cutting trees. And this picture is for the end of my presentation, because my love for trees, my love for climbing trees, be with very close contact with nature. I'm both artist and environmentalist. I can't say what is who I am, I'm more artist or more ecological activist. I think this doesn't matter. But now my main topic in my life is trees and rivers, because without trees and rivers, I can't be happy. Thank you very much.